Okay, so for people doing intermediate classes or advanced classes, we're going to start off the semester by thinking about what we're going to make. Whether you're making a series or a couple of pieces, sometimes it's nice to make a maquette. All right, a maquette is just a miniature of something that you're going to make potentially larger. Not to say that your pieces have to be big, but sometimes going through this process of making something smallish that you have in your mind kind of sorts out some of the issues without, having to waste a bunch of clay and do a bunch of things. So I've got this kind of round pinch pot here. I've been kind of dreaming of this really large planter that's almost like a giant pinch pot. Maybe I would build it out of coils. And then it's up on 3 legs. I've made these planters before, but I kind of want it to be bigger. And then I also want these legs to be almost as high as the actual pot. So it's kind of up off the ground. I have a lot of plants in the house and they kind of get beat up. And I want to elevate this form. So I am going to be showing you guys, especially in intermediate hand building or in ceramic workshop, some demos that center more around handles or spouts or lids. But also, this is kind of complex. Like, how do I get this thing to stand on these, especially if it's a really big piece? I'll probably have to build it upside down because it just won't support the weight right off the bat. And then I'll have to get the bottom of the pot to kind of dry, but not get too dry because I'll want to, make these connections. I'll have to cut these special so that they connect really well. So a lot of things to consider. Probably have to build these as well if I want them to be as big as I am thinking. So the idea is to come up with a couple of maquettes. Maybe one is a little bit better version, or maybe you build one, you're like, oh, I have this idea, and then you totally change your idea. So that second maquette could be a total change from that. And then ceramic workshop, you would base a series off of that maquette. Intermediate hand building, you're going to make a couple pieces, 2 pieces that relate to each other that are based off of the small maquette. So yeah, I'm thinking about some sort of large scale planter that's kind of put together like this. Oh. Now, ultimately, I would need to slip and score those. So probably I'll want these to be out a little wider. But the idea here is I can play around with this thing at this scale. Whereas if I try to go bigger with this, it's going to be a pretty big waste of clay. I'm actually going to push these on a little firmer now that they're upright. And then the other thing that I'm trying to figure out with this is I want to put some sort of drain in here, and what would that look like? Would it be like a little opening like this, and then I make a small pot that goes with this piece that then catches that drainage from the planter. But again, the idea here is to develop our work in this way where we're working small and then we're thinking about making it larger. Not to be a lot larger, but this idea of working small and then bigger, I think is a good way to work.